Okay, it's starting up.
Thanks, Joe. Sambhav is joining us from Sky City, above the clouds.
What's happening?
That's obviously a good question.
Yeah. Did I drop in the middle of some agenda, or are we just waiting for someone? No, we're just waiting.
Yeah, we're just starting up. No new faces. And we'll do the team lead updates. Nothing from distribution.
On the platform side of things, we're finishing up the Google Summer of Code for the pack cache flags. The last feature PR is at the cusp of being merged in. We just need to add a little bit more test to make CodeCov happy for that. Other than that, I believe Terrence and I were planning on maybe doing a release here this week, but need to discuss that with David at this point.
Cool. No updates from learning other than Joe. I know I owe you a quarterly email. I'll be honest, this week, definitely.
Yeah, just let's include KubeCon stuff in it.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Did you have anything, Sam?
Not much, I think. I was just waiting on some feedback from that builder config stuff. That's pretty much it.
RFC?
Yeah. Apart from that, there's not much happening. We're waiting for the lifecycle release.
Okay, did you have any team lead updates, Natalie, for lifecycle?
Hi. Yes, I'm just getting back up to speed after being out for a week and a half. But I'm writing a patch of the life cycle that'll have the Go version upgrade and also fix the path lookup for process types that have a dot in them. Besides that, we made some progress on Docker file stuff. While I was out, Ozzy was testing the branch that currently implements phase 1 and phase 2. My PR to Conico, 1 of 2 was merged. I need to make the second one, but this was the one I was more worried about, so I'm feeling encouraged. So I don't know what's the status. I guess we are targeting the builder provided environment variables for the next platform. Is that true, Sam?
I mean, it depends on the RFC. I don't know what's happening. That's what I was asking. Like if
Did we find we didn't finish the new RFC, right? So we're still in the consent, like real consensus.
like if we get the RFC through, I know like I'm still waiting for responses from Steven and Emily, and until we have that, don't think we can merge things. We need at least you, me, Emily, and Terrence if Steven's out.
Did we decide against, it was like aligning the way the platform or user provided environment variables work with the build pack ones and the builder ones that have them all have the same like default behavior, just be applied in different orders? Or is that like not? I remember Emily was sort of pushing for that, and that was attractive to me, but I don't know what the like objections are to doing that.
Was that like cool? Do we want to discuss this now, or like like do we want to discuss it in the working group tomorrow?
Yeah, I think if there's something to discuss, we should,
Yeah.
or at length at least, like we ought to put it on the agenda for tomorrow.
But I think we can. The ideal order was user, build pack, builder, but the default for all of them would be dot default instead of dot override. So that way, the user provided ones are not overridden by default, and they're only overridden if build packs choose to do that. But that was a completely breaking change, which is why I didn't pursue that. And like it would be a breaking change regardless of whether we get it by the build pack API, because subsequent build packs that are on an older API, like you'll have to figure out how to apply environment variables differently for them if a previous build pack was on the newer API. It was like a whole mess, which is why I didn't bother with it.
I'm not trying to push to make this harder. I'm nothing more. I'm just trying to understand like what were the options and why we didn't choose one or the other. But
We can talk tomorrow in the working group. I think the RFC is still under review, so we can still make changes. But I want some response on it. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, let's bring it up tomorrow, I guess. I put that on the agenda, and I put the new RFC process. I think there was one section that was missing from the new RFC process. I was just waiting for that. If it's not going to happen, I'll fill it out, but I just kind of assumed that Emily was going to take it on. All right, spec release planning.
So I think there's a little bit of an association here with mine and Terrence's intentions of releasing a newer version of Pack. Is that I guess our new strategy was to sort of wait for a new spec release, in particular the platform API. Sam, it sounds like the builder config stuff is currently blocked, so that might postpone that release. Any sort of thoughts on when that might happen? Should we wait for it or just keep going with the Pack release?
I mean, I don't think it needs to block the lifecycle release or the back release. Really just like depend, like we were just waiting, like if there was easy consensus amongst everyone that it can go in, the PR is ready. If not, then we can just wait for the next release.
I think the life cycle still is not ready. There's still like, as far as the Docker file stuff, like it works, but there are a few key pieces, like we need, ideally, we would get this stuff merged in Conico first, right? And not be pulling from Natalie's fork, right? And a couple other things like that. So I don't think, I mean, time-wise, I think it might actually be perfect, right? Like it might all get ready at the same time, but we should just keep pushing everything forward on every front.
Cool, that'll work. Thank you.
Okay, for setting the working group agenda for tomorrow, I have the build image M bars on there. The new RFC process. Anything else we want to add? I think we really need to get the new RFC process through. So I definitely want to make sure we spend time. I don't know at this point, like maybe we should use it as a working session and have people read and do approvals and feedback there. If that's what's required. I have to pull it up and see if what we're waiting on.
Yeah, I think I identified one section that's completely empty.
Yeah.
So I think that might be the biggest gap, but if it's a matter of removing those details, I think that might be sufficient. Because I don't know that the
It seemed,
it's a
well, it
matter.
seemed like we did. Does it? I thought maybe we did want it. I mean, I'm fine if we want to remove it because I felt like I was ready to approve it. I'll fill in that section. I don't think Emily's going to. I don't know if I'll be able to get to it by tomorrow, but I'll try.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll do another pass on it, and if I think we can remove it, I'll remove it, and then we can just look at it tomorrow. Sort of call for votes. All right, cool. That's the agenda. Anything else before we head over to the other meeting? All righty. See you on the other side.